How's it going, everyone? Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to talk today about the general state of the Republican Party because we've had a few things happen in the last couple months that are indicators of where our party is at. Now, if you have followed any of my previous videos, one of the things I've harped on is that it doesn't matter who the president is, whether it's Trump or anybody else. If the Republican Party in Congress is fundamentally corrupt or weak, nothing's going to happen. One of the criticisms of Trump by some of his more hawkish right-wing supporters, or, well, they turn out to be former supporters, was that he didn't get enough done. And I point out he was under historic pressure. They were trying to throw him in jail, his family, his friends, and they actually succeeded in doing a lot of that. Don Jr. was safe, and of course Trump is not in jail, but they got Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Cohen, his lawyer, and it was Michael Flynn they went after, Papadopoulos. So he had to do what he could, understanding that there was a lot of leverage against him in the deep state behind the scenes. And so his ability to get things done were somewhat limited. And so we're going into 2024, and Trump is probably, well, he's running again. And we have Nikki Haley, who declared, and I don't trust her at all. God help us if she gets any traction. But going into 2024, if these problems that existed in 2016 still exist in 2024, again, it won't matter who the president is, nothing's getting done. So what are the few things I've seen in the last couple months that concern me? Well, the first thing is the Speaker of the House, the vote. Yes, there was the holdouts. Yes, we had concessions. But the amount of holdouts, 18, 20 of them? That's not a significant amount of people. That's a very small amount. But luckily, because of the thin margin between Republicans and Democrats, that was enough to put some pressure on McCarthy to get some concessions. So McCarthy is establishment. Let's not beat around the bush here. He is not going to do anything that's outside the boundaries of what the deep state, the establishment want. He can get near the boundaries on a few things, but in general, he's going to be within those constrictions. Also, we have the issue with these balloons. And this is one of the things that just drive me crazy right now, because Republicans, when they attack Biden, it's a game. They attack each other, irrespective of what the other one does. They've got to find a way to attack the Democrat. That's the game we play. And so Biden shoots down these balloons. And so they take the stance, well, he didn't shoot them down fast enough. They should have been shot down, before they got to the United States. And so they get really hawkish on China. And of course, the issue with these balloons, China has dozens of satellites that can read the license plate on a car. They have spies within the United States. Every few months, the FBI comes out and announces the prosecution of a Chinese spy that they caught who had U.S. citizenship working in one of our secure facilities. Do you really think the Chinese government said, you know what? We got these satellites, we got these spies, but damn it, that's not enough. What should we do? You know what? I got it. Let's inflate a gigantic white balloon that one can see with the naked eye. Let's let it loose over China and have the winds blow it across the Pacific Ocean into North America to spy on U.S. facilities. That's our plan. Not the satellites, not the spies. A big, slow-moving white balloon that everybody can see. Now, pretend for a second you're not an idiot. Does that make any sense at all? And now we have the U.S. government admitting that they were aware of this balloon the minute it left China. So it was of no surprise. And I'm guarantee you, behind the scenes, it was like, well, every country has balloons, and it's just a freaking weather balloon. It's not a threat, which is why they initially did not do anything until the governor, I think in Montana, said something, and the media said something, and then all of a sudden Republicans were like, oh, why is this balloon here? So Biden goes, oh, crap, I got to do something now. So let me shoot it down and play the game and pretend that this was a Chinese spy balloon and our sovereignty has been infringed upon. What an absolute joke. Of all the things to worry about, this is where Republicans jump on to attack Biden. Stupidity. I wish there were one Republican that stood up and said, oh, come on, guys, calm down. This is ridiculous. It's not a big deal. It's not a freaking spy balloon. If they want to spy on us, they have way better ways to do it, which they've been employing for the last 20, 30 years. So that's concerning for me. Now, an even more concerning issue is this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Now, remember when Trump was impeached, a lot of conservatives on radio, on TV were coming out saying the only way we change anything is if when Democrats get into power, we go after them big time. We launch impeachments, all this stuff to treat fire with fire and go after, and the administration in the office, the Democrats. Well, with this Nord Stream pipeline, we have this massive opportunity to go after a president who went around Congress, used the CIA and the Navy to commit an act of terrorism against civilian infrastructure in Europe, owned by our supposed ally, Germany, in part. And so this article with Seymour Hersh, he lays it all out there. Now, if Trump was impeached for a phone call with Zelensky and for temporarily withholding lethal aid because he was concerned about corruption in Ukraine by the Ukrainian government, and with the Bidens who are corrupt and were involved in corruption in Ukraine, if that was such a horrifying thing that he had to be impeached, what about blowing up a pipeline in the Atlantic Ocean, not the Atlantic Ocean, wherever it's at, spilling out all of this gas, causing an environmental disaster? It's civilian infrastructure. Congress not informed. That's an act of international terrorism. So, where are the Republicans? Do you hear anybody say anything? We saw Mike Lee say, well, if Congress wasn't notified, that would be a problem. Anybody else? Kevin McCarthy? What Kevin McCarthy could do, if he was on our side, America first, not a warmongering neocon, he would call in Victoria Nuland, the director of the CIA, William Burns, put them under oath and ask them those questions. Were you aware of the plan or planning to blow up the pipeline? Now, my guess, their response is going to be, I can't answer that question for national security reasons. Which, by the way, means the answer is yes, they were involved in it. Just like when we asked the FBI, were there any agents on the ground during January 6th? I can't answer that question for national security reasons. So the answer is yes. And when that happens, now we can open up an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden, because he was the head honcho here who ultimately okayed this act of international terrorism. And we can then go after the Democrats fighting fire with fire. Do you see any Republicans talking about this? Anyone? McCarthy? McConnell? Heck, McConnell just recently said the most important thing is to execute this war in Russia. Not the American people, not inflation, to fight Russia. So what does this tell you about what might happen in 2024, even if Trump were to be elected? Would he actually be able to get anything done with the current Republicans we have in office? And my fear is that the answer to that question is no. He can do a little bit, but if 80% of the elected Republicans in Congress are what they are now, which is not particularly useful, he he's not going to get anything done. And it's dead in the water. So if we want to actually effect real change, we have to work on these members of Congress, put pressure on them to actually do their jobs and actually put America first. Without that, whoever's in the White House, it doesn't matter. We're not going to get a damn thing done. So those are my concerns. It's kind of sucks because you want to be hopeful and be energetic about 2024, but being realistic and not being a Pollyanna, that is the major concern for us going forward. That nothing has changed in the Congress in a significant way that gives us any hope of getting anything real done in the next presidency if we were to win. So those are my concerns. Well, thank you for joining me. If you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.